Hello and welcome to round 4 of the Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting Grand Prix here at Barbagallo Raceway in Western Australia. This is the final round of the series, the decider, to see who takes home the 2012 championship. First up, let's take a look at what drifting's all about, then we'll have a tour of the track before we head into qualifying. Let's go. Drifting is motorsport meets extreme sport. Instead of being the first across the finish line, drivers are judged like in freestyle motocross or skateboarding. The judges outline the course and what they want to see, and during solo qualifying runs, drivers are assessed on that plus their line, speed and angle. The driver's qualifying score then determines who they go up against in the top 32 tandem battle eliminations. Drivers go head-to-head and they are then judged on their proximity and emulation. Basically, the aim is to drive as close to the car in front and copy or better their driving. Each driver gets a lead and follow run, and 3 judges choose a winner or a rerun. It makes for fierce racing, an action that can't be beat by any other motorsport. The Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting Grand Prix is the country's national series and where the best drifters come to prove who's number 1. For more info on judging, rules and the series, head to the website australiandriftinggp.com. Now before we check out the action of the 4th and final round, the championship decider, let's take a look back at the 2012 championship. Round 1 was in Tasmania and Luke Fink took the win, Rob White in 2nd and Ben Pertel took 3rd place. And this is where the Rob White versus Luke Fink epic battle continued at round 2 in Victoria, but they switched it around this time with Rob White taking the win and Luke Fink taking 2nd. This made them tie for the championship. Danny Williamson took 3rd, which put him into contention in that championship. But this epic battle would now continue for the rest of the year. In round 3, Luke Fink got car damage, and then he got knocked out in the top 4, went through to finish in 3rd place, which gave Rob White the lead he needed in the championship when he took the win. But I tell you what, it's still very, very close. Let's take a look at the points. 293 versus 278 between Rob White and Luke Fink. Rob needs to finish ahead of Luke Fink at this round to secure that championship, so it's still not safe. The pressure is on, and how will it all unfold this weekend?
Technically the best place to be, but probably the most nerve-wracking place to be. You know, we've got everything to lose and nothing to gain, so it's really just holding off. You know, we've got a really, really good driver, Luke Fink, sitting right behind us, so you know, we have to really make that top 2 to guarantee our spot, and we need to qualify well in case we do get 3rd place tomorrow. So,
well, what it's going to take to win, I don't know, just go hard as usual. I'm not going to change anything. I got no tactics or anything. Just go out there, have fun, drive 110%, put some tire marks on dudes' doors, and just go home with a smile on my face either way.
Well, I just think I need to keep my cool. I need to treat my top 32, top 16, top 8 battles with care, you know, not do anything stupid and put myself out of the competition early, because it'd be a really hard thing sitting on the sideline watching him overtake me in this championship with no chance of getting it back at the next round. So.
Well, as you can see, it's a very exciting track with great proximity. Let's jump on board with Dale Campaign now for a tour of the track. He qualified in 3rd place. Now, unlike other tracks around Australia at Barbagallo Raceway, the judges and the crowd actually can't see the entry. So the judges don't care how the drivers do it as long as they are sideways by these cones, which is the start of the judging area. They want the drivers to run a mid to outside line on that uphill and a very, very aggressive transition, staying on the gas to hit that first outer clipping zone. Then cut into the Achilles hairpin to a 2nd outer clipping zone. And then through the Just Car S's, all they want is to keep it clean and keep on the noise with lots of speed. Transition out to a last outer clipping zone. Through that last corner and then across the I Love Drift finish line. So Dow Campaign took the number 3 spot. And let's check out number 2 qualifier, Danny Vahumis. He actually tied in points with the number 1 qualifier, Luke Fink, but a count back of their second run, separated by only half a point. This JPC Achilles S15, over 600 horsepower at the wheels, a very fast machine on those Achilles 123Ss. You can see Denzo blazing those tyres hard, nice and aggressive on that transition, hits that first outer clip, through the Achilles hairpin to that second outer clip, running the line that the judges want to see. He's able to stay on the noise through the KW last corner, and now he's going to go across the I Love Drift finish line. 91.3 points. He ties with Luke Fink in points, but like I said, a count back means that Luke Fink gets the number 1 spot. Let's see his run. Initiates into the first corner well before those cones. He's on that outside line where the judges want to see the drivers, blazing the tyres as well. Transitions nice and aggressive and stays on the gas. Then has to wash off a lot of speed. He hits the first outer clip, now the second outer clip, no worries at all. Lots of speed, good angle, very aggressive through the Just Car S's. To the last KW corner now for Luke Fink and the Holford Motors S14 number 1 qualifier.
I ended up in first yesterday with qualifying. Really stoked with that because it just gives us a bit of extra points in the championship. So now, you know, Rob really has to push it. He's got to come second if I win it to get the championship. So it's really, it's pretty exciting. I just like the track because you have to use your brakes. So, like, you really have to use like a lot of technique here. It's not really just a power track or anything. It takes a lot of technique, this track. So I really like it.
Had a few car issues. The clutch was playing up a bit. Injectors were blocking up as well, but when it counted, seemed to pull it out and it worked. So second place, pretty happy.
Had a bit of practice tape, took a bit of getting used to the track. It's a bit difficult with the uphill and the real snap transition, but ended up doing really well in qualifying. Just did a slow run to start off with, got the line right, and then did 2 qualifying runs, and they both felt really good. And yeah, ended up getting third, so really happy.
Now let's take a look at the rest of the top 10. Mitch Bunny, the highest of the local single round entrants, in 4th. Agus in 5th, Coulson in 6th, Ben Pertel being very aggressive to get 7th. Harry Hopes, his best qualifying run of the year, 8th place. Brendan Grieve take 9th, and Rob White only manages 10th place after limited track time due to car troubles. Now before we go to the top 32, let's catch up with another one of the drivers who is in the running for the number 3 spot in the championship, Danny Williamson.
Hi, I'm Danny Williamson. I drive the KW suspension Achilles tyre S15. We had dramas in round 3. We snapped a knuckle in the 3rd practice session just before qualifying. We qualified all right and went out and went through our first battle. We won, and then our second one, it snapped mid-race. So we did all we could and salvaged some points to keep us in a better position for this last round. We've moved into 3rd now. Obviously going into round 3, myself, Denzo and Ben Patel were quite close. Those two had a bad weekend and I had an average weekend, which made me jump up into 3rd, but we're still in the same situation here. I'm 3rd, Ben's 4th and Denzo's 5th, and there's not much between us, so whoever beats each other this last round is going to win, so it doesn't really matter where we're sitting now.
Welcome back to round 4 of the Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting Grand Prix. This is the decider, the final round. We will find out who takes out the season. Now before we head into the top 32 battles, let's catch up with another one of our registered drivers.
Hi, I'm Harry Hopes. I'm from Perth, WA. I drive the all-drift R32 Skyline. I put a RB 3025 combo. It was fully built, a lot of money spent on it. Should have really made up between 600 and 700 horsepower. It did eventually. We had a lot of problems with it. I haven't built one before. Went on the dyno on Wednesday and went 680 Newton meters of torque and about 580 horsepower. I brought it out for a test on Thursday afternoon. It went fantastic. I thought my duck had changed, everything had fallen together, and after 6 laps it blew up. So we still don't know why, but from Thursday night until this morning we've just been fitting the other engine, my old one, back in. It still makes 500 odd horsepower, so it's still plenty, but I've got a problem somewhere. I qualified 30 in Tasmania, 23 in Melbourne at Calder Park, 11 at Malala, and I was hoping to do a good bit better than that here.
Okay, let's check out our top 32 tandem battle highlights. The first pairing was #1 qualifier Luke Fink up against #32 qualifier Keith Adams. Keithy boy driving the best he's driven all year here at round 4 at Barbagallo, his home track in the JPC R34. But Luke Fink is the toughest man to beat in this competition. And he took the win in the Holford Motors S14 and took the very first step he needed on the way to try and fight back the championship. Michael Prosnick from Victoria in the Supreme Caravans S13 had a very tight battle with Michael Capellaro. The judges could only split them by a point, but it went Capellaro's way, and that was our first upset of the weekend. Harry Hopes, #8 qualifier, gave us a stellar lead run against Patrick Coates in the WA Performance R32 and was looking in top form, but when they switched it around, Harry made a big mistake and lost drift coming into the Achilles hairpin and threw it away and gave Patrick Coates to the win to go through to the top 16. WA Performance teammates had to go head-to-head, Brendan Greaves and Mitchell Lana. And Brendan Greaves, the more experienced driver, taught the rookie a lesson and went through to the top 16. Mitch Bunny, the highest local single-round qualifier, #4 spot, defeated Kelly Wong in the Sleeker Spare Safira after she had a big off-track excursion. This was Kelly Wong's first time not making it through to the top 16. Battle of the S14s, with Simon Michaelmore in the Neat Communications S14 from South Australia taking on Adam Monk in that V8-powered S14, a local driver, but Michaelmore was able to take the win and go through to the top 16. Two 180SXs, both from Victoria. Agus, back in form in that Insane Drifters Just Car 180SX, was looking strong leading against Michael Bonney, who made a lot of mistakes and quite a few straightens on that chase lap. But what we didn't see was Agus broke the car, which caused him to spear off the track and handed the win straight to Michael Bonney, who would go through to the top 16 for the very first time this year.
Just went out for my top 32 battles. Didn't do so well. Ended up breaking an input shaft on the diff on the first lap, up on the hairpin. Managed to continue my drift down the hill with momentum. But upon chase lap, we had 5 minutes left to fix the car. So upon chase lap, went out there with a floating axle, not too well. Thing was smashing around everywhere. Managed to get up top of the hill, pull the handbrake, stay on track, did what I could, hoping for the other car to spin out, and but luck wasn't my way. And as you can see, don't have my car, stuck in pit lane down on the racetrack. Ended up breaking the other axle on the other side. So yeah, bad weekend for me.
Hi, my name's Damien Croxon. I'm from WA and I'm driving the Power Up S14. Oh, it feels awesome to be back home. As you said, it's been a rough year. Tassie wasn't a good one for us. Check it out on YouTube. After the accident, I had to try and get a car going. End up taking the missus' car and driving that for the next 2 rounds. Well, having the opportunity to come back from Adelaide and get a bit more time at home, I was able to get the S14 repaired. Got the panel beater that was able to fix it, which was a big question mark to start with. Took the motor out of the S13 and it's in the S14 this weekend. Power Up's like a local treatments company, mainly for the trade. flushes for engine oils and even right down to cleaners, and they do octane boosters. Next year, car plans are pretty top secret. Trying something new, something that's never been done before. Don't want to tell too much, but it won't be an S14.
Damien Croxton was looking in top form on his lead run against Lee Hazelwood, which is good to see after he's had a very, very rough season, Damien Croxton. With the advantage to his name, when they switched it around though, he messed it up with a big straight and coming up the hill, and then coming into the Achilles hairpin, he threw it all away with a spin, handing the win straight to Lee Hazelwood in the classified S13 Sylvia, putting Croxton out early. This was a big battle to be happening so soon. Top 32, Nick Coulson and Adam Truella. You can see Borneo here has a big straighten coming into the Achilles hairpin, another straighten again coming out of it, and lacks the angle that Nick Coulson has in the Just Nice Cars VA Ute. This hands a massive advantage to Nick Coulson as he finishes up his lead run. Borneo is a local veteran, but been out of it for a little while, making a comeback in this JPC S15 with RB under the hood. A little bit shallow again, coming to the Achilles radial hairpin there from Borneo, but putting on a much better run on his lead run. But Nick Coulson not making any mistakes, so the advantage that he had on his first run he will keep and take the win and go through to the top 16. A big upset came next when Michael Jewson in the 180SX narrowly defeated Danny Williamson in the KW suspension Achilles S15, ruining his championship campaign. Dale Campaign then defeated local driver Tyson Abraham in the S13 Sylvia and continued his way through to the top 16. Ben Pertel was driving very aggressive and handed the win when Alex went off track in the R33 Skyline. An easy path to the top 16. Rob White then went up against Luke Street, and the current championship leader sailed through with the win, keeping his championship campaign alive. Another big upset though, Anthony Cece had a big straight and coming up the hill, and another one again before coming to the Achilles radial hairpin, and that handed the win to Chase Scott. And stick around, because after the break we're going to head into our top 16 battles.
Hi, I'm Carla Fry from Perth and I'm driving the LSX Drift S15. I'm really excited to be here in Perth. Like, it's my home track, I've been drifting here for years, so hopefully I can do okay. We haven't really changed much since Adelaide. We've just played around with the suspension a little bit, so it's feeling a lot better than Adelaide. LSX Drift is our major sponsor, so they're about importing conversion kits from the US to put in the LS series engines into Sylvias and Skylines and 350Zs, so that's pretty much all what the car's about, you know, introducing the V8 into this, you know, Australian drift scene. I find the V8 a lot easier, it's a lot more forgiving. I feel like I can just put my foot down and it's just ready to go, unlike the turbos. But everyone has their own opinion about turbo with V8. It's just each their own. It's really cool to have another girl in the sport. Again, same as Adelaide, now in Perth there's 2 girls in the series again, so it's just really great that we're here.
Carla Fry would have to take on another Western Australian registered driver, Lane Brandis in the Hancock R32. She was looking good up the hill, but as they came over the crest, she had a big straighten, and then coming into the Achilles radial hairpin, she had a few more mistakes, and that handed the win to Lane Brandis in the Hancock R32. The next battle was very controversial. Danny Vahumis up against John Papadopoulos, both of them having big straightens coming up the hill. Papa having a second one. The judges not really calling it either way as it was so messy from both drivers, but when they spun it around and Papa led, they had the pedal to the metal and were looking good, but things got interesting here when Papa came in way too hot, ran wide, got 3 wheels off the track, and Denzo sailed through. Now many people saw it as an overtake, but if you watch it again here, you can see Papa gets 3 wheels off the course, which is classed as a spin. So Denzo was able to continue through on the same line and the same angle and get awarded the win and go through to the top 16.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, these flights are terrible. I tell you, that's the only thing I don't like about Barbagallo.
Well, with the top 16 drivers parade and the autograph session finished, here it is, our battle tree, top 16. Let's go. Luke Fink up first, up against Michael Capellaro, local driver, who defeated Michael Prosnick. He's now about to get a lesson from last year's reigning champion. Look at this, Luke Fink just has the pedal to the metal and he's simply pulling away from Michael Capellaro. He's doing everything he can to keep up. But Luke Fink is just on a textbook run and completely pulling away from him and will have a big advantage as they switch it around. Capellaro will lead now. Luke Fink follows in the Holford Motors S14, but check this out. This is a lesson in proximity. Luke Fink is right on the back of Capellaro. That's what the judges want to see. They want to see them emulate and get nice and close, which is exactly what Luke Fink is doing at a big advantage on his lead run. And now with proximity like this, the advantage will go his way even further. Let's go to the replay now on board with Luke Fink. No need to commentate this one. Let's just check out some brilliant driving from the master.
So it was quite a difficult one, but I'm stoked I'm through, so yeah. Woo.
WA Performance teammates about to go head-to-head now, both driving R32 Skylines and both equipped with Chevy V8s under the hood. These guys drift together all the time. Brendan Greaves is following, Patrick Coates are leading. Listen to them howl as they come around that corner. Now into the Achilles radial hairpin. Greaves is on a great chase lap here. He has excellent emulation, good proximity the entire way through the course here. These guys are treating this more like a bit of team drift practice as they drift together all the time. But Brendan Greaves will have the advantage in the two-door R32 after a great chase lap there. Let's switch it around now. Greaves will lead, Patrick Coates will follow. Bit of a straightening correction from both drivers coming over the hill there, so a little bit messy from both. They'll both lose points. Coates goes a little bit off track there coming to the Achilles radial hairpin. He hasn't got as good a proximity as what Greaves did throughout the entire course. And the judges are going to hand it to Brendan Greaves in the WA Performance R32 Skyline.
I don't know, I practiced with that guy about 1,000 times around this track, so I knew exactly what he was going to do.
Local favourite now, Mitch Bunny in the Hybrid Customs R32 up against Simon Michaelmore from South Australia. Unique Communications S14. It's a long trip to make. He says he loves this track. Mitch Bunny leading now with the pedal to the metal. He is full noise, very aggressive up the hill. Runs a little bit wide there at that outer clip coming into the Achilles radial hairpin. Blazing hard through the Just Car S's. Simon Michaelmore not too bad on the proximity. Emulation's good, but probably needs to be a little bit closer if he wants to get an advantage. Judges not really calling it either way after that run. Michaelmore not being close enough to get the advantage, but Mitch Bunny not really running away enough. A little bit of a straighten there from Michaelmore coming up the hill. A big correction, will lose a few points for that. Bunny hasn't got the proximity, but Michaelmore has a little bit of a straighten there coming into the Achilles radial hairpin. So he's had 2 straightens on that run. And we'll see have some points taken off. So even though Bunny hasn't got the proximity, that Michael Moore had, those two little mistakes from Michael Moore, are going to be enough. You can see it here. Watch those front wheels. They straighten up. There has to clutch kick it to get it back out again. And that's all it takes for Bunny to get the win.
I'm absolutely stoked. Top 8 is just awesome. I made it there last year, so hopefully same this year, maybe even further. We'll see how we go.
Michael Bonny, his first time in the top 16 in the C&D Motorworks 180SX. He's up against a local driver, Lee Hazelwood. He's a bit of an underdog in this competition in that privately funded S13 Sylvia. He's pulling out a good lead lap so far. He knows this track, it's his hometown. Bonny, a big straighten there though before they come into the hairpin. And another big straighten again and loss of drift from Bonny. That's going to hand a massive advantage to Lee Hazelwood in that S13 Sylvia. He's going to sail through on this run. All he's going to need to do now is hold it together on his chase lap. Will he be able to do so? Let's switch him around now. Bonny leads, bit of a straightening correction coming up the hill. Lee Hazelwood keeping it clean so far. All he's going to do is hold it together. Another straighten from Michael Bonny in the C&D Motorworks 180. Lee Hazelwood just keeping it clean. Bonny's driving it straight there, not what the judges want to see. Hazelwood has to avoid contact and straighten up a little bit there, but a very messy run from Michael Bonny, and the win is going to go through to local Lee Hazelwood.
This is the best day. Last time I qualified 16, and now this one's good.
Don't go anywhere, as after the break we'll continue our top 16 tandem battle eliminations.